Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you the new Marmalead update. I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to go over 10 different ways you could use it to add major value in your business. The moment I got my hands on this tool, I was so excited that I had to share it with you, okay? So if you want to try this tool out and you are not an Entrepreneur Plan member for Marmalead, I believe it's around $19 a month, you could give it a free trial for 14 days, okay? You could click the link in the description down below. It is marmalead.com/mastermind. Click that, sign into your account if you already don't have one, and you will begin your 14-day free trial so you can get access to this. You could play around with it yourself. However, the value you're going to see during this video, you're going to know this is the right thing for you to do, for you to, subscribe to the Entrepreneur Plan. I guarantee it. Okay, let me show you around. So first, the updates are fairly simple. The boxes over here, the search box and the engagement box, as well as competition, do have these little hover over buttons, and it tells you what it pretty much means. The new change is that the search and engagement, okay, are now forecasted in the next 30 days. Before, it used to be the prior months. And the interesting thing to this is that, when you were doing your keyword research, you don't really need, July's or, the month's prior's numbers, okay? And you don't want to wait, to see what it's going to be, because then you should have already listed things or changed things, etc. So I like that they actually put in forecasted numbers here, okay? We'll talk about forecasting in just a second, but this is really exciting because I know that in this month, for the next 30 days, beginning from today going forward, this is what I should expect for searches and engagement, okay? Again, based on forecasted trend, okay? And this applies as well to the engagement box. These are forecasted numbers for the next 30 days. Again, before it used to be for prior, all right? It used to be the prior 30 days and usually did an update for about, a few weeks or so, maybe even less. So I'm happy to see that we are looking forward as far as number of searches and engagement, because I'm always looking to, change my business going forward, not my past. I can't do that. So I love this new improvement, okay? So what is forecast? Well, this is what you're seeing here. You are now seeing, which is a very exciting update, you are now seeing, your engagement history. You see that? The months are prior here. We are obviously, at the time of recording, it is, what is it, August? Yeah. So we're in August, and the August month has not finished. That's why it's still a white bar, which is in, forecasted engagement. And now we can see prior, all right? There's a few different reasons, I'm sure you could think of some already, why this is important to take a look at when you're looking for keywords. But what's also really cool is having the forecasted amount, because trends do change over time. And again, I'll go over how we could use this in a much more organized fashion, okay? So now you will see history for the keyword phrase of engagement, and now you will see forecasted future, right? A few months. Now, why engagement and why not searches? Well, if you've had a chance to play around with this tool, you will see and probably know that engagement is probably a little bit more important than searches. 10 people might search for yoga headband here, but, if they're not really interacting and, engaging, that's the key word here, with the search results for yoga headband, then it's not really a great keyword phrase to go after. And engagement score, by the way, is pretty much views. If somebody searches for yoga headband, are they actually clicking on listings in those search results? That's a really cool feature to see, right? So that's why the Marmalead team decided to do this chart for engagement, because that's the more important tool. You could have, in this case, it happens to be 450 to 500 searches. That's cool. It's not a bad number, but look how much engagement, much higher. And that's more important to me. That means I know more people are viewing it. And you might think you care about searches, and which you do, but you really care about how many views, how many people are actually clicking on your listings, not necessarily just searching, okay? So this is why this chart shows you engagement as opposed to searches. It's a much better, metric to look at. Okay, so now let's get into the 10 ways how you could actually use these new updates, all right? So I'm going to start with this. Number 1, it will help you realize why you are so slow during a certain period of time. If you ever have slow times in your Etsy shop, which I think we all can relate and we sometimes go through. However, some of us may feel like we're a complete loser, okay? You might go into the Etsy forums or Facebook groups and say, oh my God, why am I so slow? I feel like it's just me. I feel like Etsy's against me. And those might all be true. But the point is now you can actually see if this is the case. You could check, your keyword phrases that you are, in the market for. So if you're like in the exercise type of yoga market, you could search for things that you sell. Yoga headband, yoga leggings, yoga mat, all this type of stuff, yoga pants, and see if you are a loser. No, I'm kidding. Or in reality, the engagement is down for everyone. So if you look here, okay, we're in August right now. So you'd probably look around these 2 months and you would say, okay, I had a great July and it's down about, it's not really half, but almost half for August. So if my sales or views are half down, right? If it went down 50%, that's probably why. I'm not a loser, not everybody else is doing fantastic, compared to me. We're all in the same boat. Now, of course, we all don't shoot to be mediocre in our lives. I get that. But just understanding that you are not the odd person out and you're not being singled out by Etsy and that it's part of the trend kind of makes you feel better, because the reality is, this is a real thing. Seeing sales go down or views go down can really unmotivate you. And then you don't move forward by working on your shop and doing other things. I know you could relate. I do the same thing sometimes. But seeing this might help you say, okay, it's not me. It's the trend right now. No problem. I can see it might be going up in September, which in this case it does. Really cool. Let me work on some additional things so I'm getting ready for my, increase in views and sales. Perfect, right? So that's number 1. It helps you realize that you are not indeed slow because of random things, algorithm changes or whatever, but engagement has dropped during this month because there are different seasons for different things, okay? Number 2, it helps you understand your target market better. Well, how does that happen? So we're here on Yoga Headband, okay? And you might say, Dahlia, I don't know there was an actual season for that type of stuff. Like, why is this, up and down for engagement? Well, it might take you a while to figure it out, or you might have to actually ask a few people, say, why do you think Yoga Headband has some crazy engagements throughout the year? Well, you'll eventually connect this, hopefully, or you could ask your colleagues. It's because, and I actually had to ask somebody for help to realize why this is. It's because people tend to make their New Year's resolutions, right, in the beginning of the new year. So you see an increase, boom, right over here. Okay, yoga headband. And sure, like items will have the same type of increase, such as other exercise type of items, okay? So people make their New Year's resolution. So look how high the increase is here. That's a no-brainer, okay, in my opinion. And then you might see some other increases. Again, it depends on a few different things, but I think the summer months is an increase because people want to get fit before the summer. So of course, the increase for, engagement on a keyword such as yoga headbands and the like would go up, okay? So you might not know immediately why there's increases and decreases, but seeing that there's highs and lows for your keyword phrase should make you say, hey, why is that? And then maybe thinking it to yourself, you might come up with a solution as to why, or reaching out again to your colleagues, meaning go in a Facebook group and show people what you have and tell people, hey, the engagement in January is really high, the rest of the year is low, but I don't understand why. They might provide some insight that will help you understand your target market better, okay? And this is, if you're new to selling online, you maybe don't know this, but understanding your target market will really help you in a lot of different facets of your business. Okay. Now, number 3, how do I use this new feature a different way? Well, product line development, which is for me, I have 10 different reasons why I use this tool now, but this is one of the most exciting. Let me explain. So for product line development, you could see right? When you should come out with certain categories, certain designs, right, in your market, etc. So let's take another example here, okay? Let's look at baby shower invitation. And by the way, when you're looking at these keywords, just remember plurals versus non-plurals do matter. Sometimes people search that way, so just a heads up, okay? So I'm looking here and I'm typing in baby shower invitation, and I'm trying to see what is the most popular time for this, right? And you might say, does that also have a season? It kind of does. Why? Because baby shower invitations are used for a baby shower, and people are about to have babies, and believe it or not, there are more popular times of the year that babies are born, that there's birthdays, okay? So looking at here, that actually confirms it, okay? We're looking at the summer months are usually the highest, and the beginning of the year, okay? Now, people, again, purchase baby shower invitations right before they have the baby, so this makes the most sense, all right? And those are the most popular birth months in the year. So knowing this, okay, that's not the point. Knowing this, you get to say, baby shower invitations, they become popular right when January hits. You see that increase from December to January, all right? And they become popular in other ways. So in the summer months, they start to increase, etc. You see that? And historical data shows it starts to increase over time. So what do you do for product line development? This is the third tip. You will create these product lines before January, okay? You want to have them listed right before the uptick of engagement, right? So your product should be listed and ready to go right when people start to, engage more with this keyword phrase. So you're looking at sometime over here between December and January, obviously before January, and right before the summer month uptick, okay? So you're looking at May-ish, right? Even maybe a little bit before, okay? So you would do this, you would start designing, preparing, SEOing your listings, all this stuff, and then you list. Now, if you want a cheat sheet, like a timeline type of cheat sheet to launch your products, because you're like, Dahlia, I get it, but I don't know when I should start designing or preparing my products compared to when I have to launch them. Well, you have to launch them, in this case, right when January starts, like right before January starts, right? But you don't know when to start. Like, how much time prior do you have to start, okay? So I have a cheat sheet I created for you. It's freaking awesome, okay? It is, I made this cheat sheet in Google Sheets, which is like an online version of Excel, okay? All you have to type into this sheet is the date, approximate date that your engagement starts to go up, which in this case, it would be, let's say December 31st, because in January it starts to go up. And then there's a few other things you have to put in there, such as how much time do you take, okay, for researching product ideas, how much time you take for actually designing or creating them, how much time you take for photographing them and editing the photos, and last but not least, how much time you take for listing the products, which is SEO, and things like that. And of course, when I say you, I mean, it's different for me compared to you, depending on your product type. Also, you may have a full-time job and do this part-time. So you might take, 10 days compared to my 1 day. Okay. So that's all you have to put into this little cheat sheet, and it will tell you exactly when you have to start with your new product line. How cool is that, right? So click the link in the description down below, okay? It is a link to my resource library. You'd sign up for my email list to get it. And when you enter the resource library, you'll see that video, a mini video to show you how to use it, and you could download and get that Google Sheets for you to use for yourself. It's really awesome, okay? So it could help you plan when to start preparing a new product line or something based on trends like this. All right, so let's move on to number 4. All right, number 4 is, with this new tool, you could see when's a perfect time on Etsy to increase, your strategy for promoted listings. So if you don't know what promoted listings is on Etsy, it's pretty much their advertising feature. If you're already using it, then great. You need to go in and go to the items that, have this uptick. So in the end of December, You should really be going to your baby shower invitation items and increasing the cost per click if right now, if it's, doing decently, because you could afford to, because people are buying the engagements there, right? People are searching for it. And even right when the summer months begin, so sometime in May, maybe right before May, you would start it, okay? You would go in there and increase it. Now, if you're not promoting those type of items, then do it again at these times, okay? And if you're not using promoted listings at all, then that's another story, but you should be. And hopefully this tool will help you understand when's the right time to do so. Now, if you follow me, you probably know this, side note, promoted listings is not a passive strategy. You should always be going into it to, adjust some things, okay? At least once a month-ish. And this is a perfect way to go in there and adjust things with a strategy behind it, not just randomly. So you would go to certain, your certain keywords and say, okay, which of these should be adjusted based on, uptick in engagement? And you would only adjust the ones that, let's say I'm in August right now. If any of your keywords go, from July to August or August to September and it goes up, those should be adjusted positively, meaning more cost per click, or at least turn those listings on for promoted listings. Okay? And I'm sure you will see a great return because people are searching for that type of stuff. Awesome so far, right? All right, let's get to number 5. Number 5 is really simple, okay? Depending on your business, you may have to stock certain things. Like my business, I stock paper and envelopes. I'm pretty much always stocked all the time. It's fairly easy for me to do so. And some boxes and clear sleeves and things like that. But you may have to have certain fabrics, certain, pieces, I don't know, whatever your market is, okay? So looking at sometimes a huge increase, okay? This is maybe not a great example, but looking from here to here, you may have to stock up on whatever materials you need to before this time comes. And I wouldn't do it in December. I mean, depending on your vendors and when they ship and all that type of stuff, you might want to do it a few months prior, okay? And you do this exact same strategy right before holiday season happens, right? So if you have a product that's great for gift giving, you probably are stocking up probably sometime in October, hopefully a little bit before, just in case. And so this chart will also help you do it just in case there's definitely higher times in your business. Now for me, again, it's easy for me to stock my supplies. I have tons of it and they're easy to store, so I don't need to do this. But for me, the busiest times are holiday season, Mother's Day, Father's Day. That's really the busiest times. And so prior to that, I really have to stock up on certain color envelopes because that's the most popular. Okay, so use this tool to help you stock up right before the uptick of engagement. All right. Number 6. It's important to see visually, okay, so here's the visual here, when your market has demand. Okay, so why is this? Because then you could create a different category of products, or maybe even a different shop, all right, be careful with that, it's not meant for everyone, that has a larger demand in your off-season time. Okay, so imagine a lot of your keyword phrases. I'm in the paper industry, so a lot of the keyword phrases have, the same highs and lows, give or take. And so, relatively speaking, for me, my highs and lows, let's take a look at personalized stationery. And by the way, I'm only looking at some of my keywords here, but you should be looking at a handful or so of what you sell to really understand the highs and lows of engagement. But here's just one, just for argument's sake. And I do have some lows, okay, for personalized stationery. And of course, I have some highs. And I told people before in my Facebook Lives and probably a YouTube video that I have the lows in my industry are pretty much here. Okay, and here they are. So June is looks like it's lower than last year, but they are lower usually. And again, look at several keyword phrases to really understand. Now, because there's other keyword phrases that actually describe what I sell. Okay, but I look at my lows and say, okay, what can I create? What could I do to make sure that I'm not slow during my slow time? So you would create another category that is actually high during these slow months. So in my case, I actually did that a few years ago. I sell wedding items, and the wedding industry is usually high during my slow times for personalized stationery, okay? This is an advanced strategy, by the way. I don't recommend you start out with this, okay? Because it might take some time for you to research and decide what you want to get into. And it could be within your market, or for me, it's a different market because personalized stationery is a different target market than wedding items, right? They use the same type of like materials, but they're a different target market. But nonetheless, I created something separate. So I'm pretty much busy throughout the year. And I set myself up that way so I don't have slow times, okay? You may not want to do that, just FYI, because if you're like a one-woman show or one-man show, then your downtime is the time you need to work on new product lines and get things set up in your shop and all that stuff. I'm not a one-woman show. I have somebody working with me, so that's why I have another shop, and it works out perfectly for me, okay? Let's go on to number 7. Number 7 is to look for product types that have consistent engagement, and which means consistent sales. So this is an odd example, but I'm still going to show it to you just to show you what consistency looks like across the board. I know for a fact I'm misspelling stationery. That's on purpose, so don't roll your eyes. It's because my customers misspell stationery sometimes, so that's why I do it. Anyway, so looking at baby stationery to show you what product types have consistent engagement over time. What's the point of me showing you this? This is tip number 7. It's important to find items with consistency over time. That means you could have a good baseline product. That's something that you could always count on, okay? And this is just one example in my paper industry. And in this example, it's kind of a bad one, but they have like low engagement. It's not horrible, but it's low, right? But generally speaking, you would hopefully find ones in the mid-range. That's like somewhere around here or here, okay? But nonetheless, the point of me showing this is to show you consistency. You see that? There's not too much highs and lows, okay? That means you're selling this type of items throughout the year, okay? And this in this situation is baby stationery, but what is it for your situation? It's important to have some good baseline products that will always sell throughout the year. It provides stability in your business and in your market. I absolutely love this freaking tool. Can you tell already? Like, there's so many ideas you could do with this, and you don't have to use all 10 ideas. You could just pick and choose what's right for you at the time, implement them, work on them, get used to them, and then start to implement any other of the 10 ideas I've given you. I love this, okay? So, moving on. Number 8, the 8th way you could use this new update, okay, is to create more product variety when there is such a huge demand. So what does that mean? That means, let's look back at, and this is just an example, let's look back at baby shower invitation. Okay, I just want to show you visually what an example is. So if you have something with a high demand, high engagement, all right, you should be creating a variety of that type of product. Now, let me show you visually what I mean so I could drive this point home. Engagement's very high. I mean, high meaning it's in the green. We could see that. I mean, based on your other keyword phrases, maybe in your market, you don't usually get 13 to 18K engagement. Granted, the competition's really fierce. I get that. But just looking at this alone, you're like, people are out there, they're looking. I mean, look, this is 30 days. I mean, come on, right? They're looking for baby shower invitation. So, I mean, if you know my market, you would know this. People have different themes for baby showers. They're doing woodland creatures. They're doing nautical baby showers. They're doing pink and gold. They're doing unicorn. They're doing XYZ, okay? And like I mentioned earlier, you know how you pre-plan and design and research ideas to create a product line? You would do the same thing. You're like, okay, I have to create a whole bunch of new product for baby shower invitation, a variety. Remember, the variety is the key here, okay? Because if they don't like your pink and gold theme one, I hope you have more than one. And this shows that it's worth you going after because the engagement's so high. Okay, so this is tip number 8. Is something worth going after in depth? Okay, do you take one of your items, such as baby shower invitation, and really, really dive in and create a full product line of it? And this is what this tool helps with. You're like, you know what? It's worth it. Because if you look at something like, let's just go back to baby stationery. Okay, you saw how low the engagement was. I mean, I'm not saying this is a completely bad keyword phrase or a bad thing to be in, but just so you know, it's probably not worth your time to create, 20, 30, 40, 50 baby stationaries, right? That target people that look for that phrase, because you're not going to get much purchases, and the variety is unnecessary, right? You might have 5 to 10 and that's it, if that. But something with the baby shower invitations, it's worth to have a variety. So then when the customer A, let's call her Sally, looks for your baby shower invitation, it's not quite what she wants, at least she can look at your shop to find something that actually fits her, because indeed people are looking based on that engagement score, okay? So having a variety of, a certain category, a certain, design, a certain theme would probably be important. Okay. All right. So, and by the way, just to piggyback on that, maybe things related to that. So baby shower invitation, and people are looking for that. They're probably looking for the pairings of it. What about baby shower, banners and decor? And if you're able to make it, it might be, remember, do research using Marmalead, but it might be worth going after by, going into the like items for a baby shower, etc. if it shows it has huge engagement. Okay, so we have 2 more ideas left. Okay, tip number 9, how to use this tool is to see if your idea has died down or your trend has died down. Let me explain to you, okay? Imagine, like, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, owls were a big thing. They've died down, okay? But owls used to be a big thing. And so I made owl stationery. People had owl this, owl that. People are still buying it here and there, but it used to be much bigger, okay? And this is not an exact example, but let me show you. But the point is, if something has died down, you can now see historical data. And so it'll help you understand, oh, last year in the summer, it used to be very big. This year's summer that has already passed, it's no longer big. So what happened? People are not searching for that keyword phrase anymore. Possibly they might be onto a new phrase that matches that item. But more than likely, if you're actually targeting an exact keyword phrase, either a super general one or a particular one, such as owl stationery or owl baby shower invite or something that's general within that certain design, if you see a change, that's problematic. And meaning, if you look at prior data, okay, actually let me type in wedding invitations. I think that might be the one that I looked up earlier. But if you see that dip, like, oh, last year May it was like 20,000 engagement, and this year past May it's only like 200 engagement. That means the demand has changed, or less shoppers are there for this type of keyword phrase. So if you're thinking about the idea of owl stationery or owl anything, and you see it decreased, that means your owl items, stop trying to recover them. Okay, guys, stop trying to save them. Nobody cares about owl stuff anymore. Okay, get rid of those listings. Okay, and move on to the next trend. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is the one I looked at before. Yes, July, you see 15,800 for invitations. Obviously, invitation, the non-plural version was fine. But invitations, you see that it used to be 15,800. And then the past June, it's much lower. Not crazy low, but it definitely dropped. Okay. Now this again is an odd example, but I look at this for trends, and you can even look at it in this way. Like, are people still shopping wedding invitations on stationery or XYZ on stationery? Looking at it will help you understand if something died down. Is it time to move on from this style, from this design, from etc., and move on to the next thing? And again, getting rid of listings is probably very, very helpful, so you don't bog down your shop with listings that nobody cares about. People will be very unimpressed with your shop and move on, okay? Or if it gets found in search, that's a waste of a space in search, right? If you have still owl stationery being found in search, that something else could be found in search of your more fantastic products. Deactivate that listing because you could see it'll be off trend using this tool, and move on. Okay, now we're on tip number 10. Okay, this is the last one. I'm so excited about this because I utilize this currently. I kind of know this already, but utilizing this tool will help me even further. Utilizing this tool, and we're going to go back to baby shower invitations because this seems to be a really good one to show you some highs and lows, okay? Or I think it was invitation, I forget. But the tip number 10 is for marketing. So I mentioned promo listings earlier, which is the Etsy advertising feature, okay? And that's cool. But I'm talking about other promotions, other things you're doing to market yourself, okay? Outside of Etsy. So don't forget about email lists, okay, guys? I'm a big fan of it, as well as Pinterest and a few other platforms, but email lists. So what would you do with this, right, with this tool? You would know that during this time, if you see a big jump, okay, to show people in your email, campaign, your baby shower invitations or your XYZ, depending on when the uptick happens. So when's the right time to send out an email, right? I mean, it's pretty straightforward here. And you can look up different categories and you'll know when's the right time to send certain things throughout the year. particularly for email. But let's just say you're like, Dahlia, I don't have an email list. I get you though, love the tool, but I don't have an email list. It's okay. There's other things at your disposal. Okay, I mentioned promoted listings earlier for Etsy, but you might be using Pinterest and promoted pins. Okay, it's time to promote your pins right before the uptick of engagement goes up, right? So from like June to July, you see it goes up. So to probably start promoting at end of June, okay? Those pins that are baby shower invitations. Why? Because people are out there searching for it, okay? They are out there searching for it. And I love this tool for that reason. So you could really up your game in advertising cost or dollars or whatever. I mean, sending an email doesn't cost me anything, but at least I go bring up my efforts for that type of product and actually sending out an email, and you will see a higher return. That's the key here. Okay, guys? And you could take it even further. If you have an Instagram following, make sure that you're posting relevant items that people are, care about during that time. That's super, super important. Okay. And that is it, guys. Those are my 10 ideas you could use this new feature. Okay. I'm so excited about it. Can you tell? Okay, so here is a bonus tip in a way that you could use this tool, okay? And of course, there's probably many more, all right? But I want to give you one more. For the obvious reasons, I'm sure people would love this tool because they want to see when they should list their products, particularly for seasonal items, right? So, think about things that definitely have a season, such as Christmas ornaments or Valentine's Day cards, etc. And it's important to know which keyword phrases are better than others because you want to list them, have them ready, and it's important to do that research. So when you look at Christmas ornaments here, you'll see that the uptick starts to really happen from August to September, okay? And if you want to kind of wait a little bit longer, it's from September to October. But for me, I would definitely start listing pretty much at the end of September for that uptick, okay? And that will just simply get you in the game at the right time when people are really moving forward to look for it, all right? Now, another thing I want to bring to your attention, which is a fun little add-on tip here, is that when you hover over, okay, just because this looks low, it doesn't mean it's actually really low. When you go to August, it's 5,500. When you go to July, which looks really low, it's 2,700. That's actually pretty good. You might say, Dahlia, wait a minute. Are people looking for Christmas ornaments in July? Actually, they do. I do talk to a lot of sellers, coach a lot of people, and I know that the people sell Christmas ornaments throughout the year. So I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually very, very common. Obviously, the majority of them selling during the holiday season time. But just know that when you hover over, okay, don't let your eyes deceive you and think it's low. Just hover over to make sure, because, if it's low and if it's like 50, then fine, don't bother, right? But if it's low and it's 2,700 or 5,500, it might probably be, important for you to have it listed sooner or possibly throughout the year, okay? Let's look at one more that shows you when to be researching keyword phrases and listing these for definitely, seasonal items. So Valentine's Day cards, let's just see that for an example. I don't know what's going to come up, but again, people want to research keywords, use Marmalead to research keywords and put these listings up, right before the uptick. I get that, right? And you need to know which keywords, phrases work better than others. And by using this tool and seeing this engagement over time, you would know that the term, of course, is such a basic term, right? But Valentine's Day cards, all right, during the December period has 400, but in January it goes up to 2,800, and then it dips in February because obviously by then, you're kind of pushing it because it's really close to that date. But just know that this will show you, hey, I could use this phrase right now. It sucks, but I could use this phrase at this time. Right? And it will work. So I will put it on, I will put it in my keyword, my listing, because it will eventually work. And this is probably the most common reason why people would probably love this tool. Okay. Knowing that, this keyword phrase will probably work in the near future is probably very, very helpful. Now, if you want to try this tool out for yourself, I showed you some examples here, but I'm sure you want to look up more keyword phrases and see what it does for you. Please use a free trial I have for you, okay, guys? It is marmalead.com/ Mastermind. Okay, it'll give you 14 free days. Just click on that link. I put it down in the description below, or type it in your URL. And when you sign in, you will automatically be upgraded to the 14 free day trial. All right. Now, just for the record, if you're watching this and you're like, I already used your trial before, guess what? I have fantastic news. The Marmalead guys did me a favor. I asked them and they said yes. And they have reset that link, meaning if you already use up your trial, no worry. They reset it so it's as if you never used your trial. So you could go back in and use another 14 days, okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. 14 free days is awesome. Try it out, work it out. But this upgrade is a huge game changer for me. I've utilized this already with a few different things, and I've already made some marketing plans and a few other product launch plans, and it's absolutely worth upgrading to the paid entrepreneur plan version. Okay, it's only $19 a month, all right? And with everything I've mentioned, I mean, it would add tremendous value to your business when and if you use it. Okay, guys? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you have any questions. I'm absolutely excited about this tool, and I'm so happy they provided this new feature that I'm just so excited. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will talk to you later. Bye.